Hi, my name is Ibarra, and I'm going to be interviewing. Can you please tell us your name?
Carmen, Marion.
Okay, Carmen. Well, can you please tell us your age too, please?
I'm 80.
Okay. And where were you born, in country, state, and city?
Dinuba, California.
Okay. Okay, I'm going to tell you the definition of gender, which is the state of being male or female. And the definition for sex is either of the two main categories into which humans and many other living things are divided on the basis of their reproductive functions. Okay, now my question for you is, how has gender affected your life, and can you please give us an example from your life?
I'm a female. I've had a lot of kids, had a lot of miscarriages, stillborn, a lot of problems. I was a tomboy, always chased after my brothers, tagged after them. They hated it, so I always had to tag a distance away from them, which got me lost a lot. But I was persistent, and they learned to tolerate me. Not well, but they did. My two brothers really bounded together, and they just didn't want to have anything to do with me. And I always tried to do as well as they did. I couldn't, but I tried, which made me very competitive because I kept trying to, they could get my oldest brother got 100 in Constitution. I knew there was no way in hell I could do that. Not that smart. And my middle brother got 99. He only missed one question.
Wow.
And so that's what I had to compete against. My parents thought, well, I should do as well as they did. I got 98, I think. 98, 7 or 98. And my parents were disappointed in me. You should have done better. I thought, no, I shouldn't. I did as well as I could do. But,
Okay, I'm going to ask you another question. What labels define you as a woman in our society?
What?
What labels define woman, and what labels define you as a woman in our society?
What label? You don't get credit for what you tell them to do.
Mm-hmm.
Even when you provide the solution and they take your solution and run with it, maybe 2 years later, you get no credit. They act like it didn't happen. It's all their idea. This is men. Mm-hmm. They just, bureaucracy and so forth, they just do not, they underestimate women to the point where they don't listen to them. They don't want to hear them, even though they'll take their idea and run with it. They don't want to acknowledge it didn't come from them.
Mm-hmm.
They can't, their brains or egos get to the point of saying, well, that's from a woman. I can't pay attention to that. That's silly.
Yes. And do you think times have changed from back then to now?
Not much. A little. It's changed a little. My granddaughter doesn't have it quite as bad as I did. I had it so bad that when the Korean War was over and I had to take a zoology class, the professor stood up in front of the class first day and said, I don't think girls should take zoology, so if you're in here and you're a girl, you either get an A or an F. And I knew I'd never get an A in zoology. It's too hard a subject. I wasn't that smart, and I knew I couldn't. There was no way I had the time or the energy to study to make an A in zoology. And I thought, well, I have to have the 5 points of units. I have to have the units, so I have to stay in here. Most of the girls just dropped out. They just ran away because you give up. I didn't give up. There were 3 of us that stayed in the class. There were 8 of us to start with, and 3 of us stayed in. One made an A. She knew she could. She was very smart. She made an A. The rest of us, we got B's finally. But had to try to convince him the girls weren't stupid, that we could actually do zoology.
Wow.
But I got that in many classes. I wanted to take the second semester geology. No, girls can't take the second semester geology. They go camping. I've gone camping my whole life. No, you can't do it. No, you can't do this. You can't do that. And your parents don't stand up for you. They say, well, if the school says it, you can't take it, you can't take it. They were really bad at denying women chances. When you were trying to figure out what you liked and what you didn't like, you could go so far, but you had to go a little further to really figure it out. Or I did, because I really didn't know what I wanted. And they didn't give you that chance. They would just stop you as soon as they could.
Mm-hmm.
And that goes on still today. They call it the glass ceiling. And it's not the glass ceiling so much as the woman who's up there and ready to be promoted to a higher level. They can't see that she can do anything except what her little area of expertise is. They can't see that she can manage other people, that she can move up. They just...
And I just leave her to the bottom.
They just think you're stuck there.
Mm-hmm.
And I had a friend that got to the top of archaeology at the Forest Service. Was head of the Sierra Division. 5 years she stayed at the top. Each year she gave the same solutions to the problems that the Forest Service and the loggers had. Each year it was the same problem. Each year it was the same solution. And after 5 years she couldn't do it anymore. She says, I cannot believe that they can't remember from one year to the next how we solved this problem. It's a very simple problem. We solved it last year or the year before and the year before and the year before. And they still can't remember. So she quit and went back to college. Now she's in charge of Fresno State's computer science computer division. She's very smart, very intelligent, but she couldn't go up. She couldn't do it. They couldn't see that she could do anything but what she was doing.
Mm-hmm.
So she had to quit and change her idea and come back as a computer science person. Fresno State hired her as a teacher, and then she now is head of the division. Has been for years.
Oh, wow.
Huh?
Oh, wow.
Yeah, for about 8 years now.
That's good.
Yeah, she does a very great job.
That's good. Well, thank you so much, Carmen, for the interview. Thank you so much. And that was it. Mm-hmm.
And I did that for 8 years. And it didn't satisfy. It didn't make me happy. Because I couldn't repeat a year. Some teachers can teach each year and it's fresh to them.
Mm-hmm.
And it feels good. I taught 2 years in the second grade and I couldn't hardly stand the second grade in the second year. I could hear my mind would be repeating exactly what I said in the same lesson a year before. I could hear myself. And that just drove me crazy. I thought, I can't do this. So I had to go to the principal and say, I can't teach second grade anymore. You got to give me another grade. So he finally says, okay. So they gave me a fourth grade. And I enjoyed that. And then I decided, well, it's time to have another baby. So I quit for a year. Every year I had a baby, I quit for a year and stay home with my baby. And then after a year, I'd get thinking my brain started to be mushy and I had to go back to work. You can only talk to little babies for a year or two before your brain just starts to... you start to feel like you haven't got one anymore. The vocabulary is very small.
That's pretty...
The little kids, I love them, but
yeah.
day in and day out.